Goodness comes and evil goes. Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth. Karibu, welcome. My name is Kwende, and today we're going to be discussing yet another important subject area, and that is organizing for living African history. Organizing for living African history. Now, as we know, the sacred universe is an organized phenomenon. It has been organized by the grand orchestration of the Creator Supreme with all its various elements. Everything has its function, everything has its place, everything has its purpose, and it is ordered to make the whole universe, the whole world function and live, function and be. So Africans will organize themselves and organize society as an outward expression of natural phenomena within the sacred universe. And that is how you see grand civilization, grand nations being established, maintained, developed, and excelling to superlative standards throughout African history, because the African naturally organizes him and herself to make that possible. And there are various levels of organizing. The self has to function. The harmonious and complementary union of the African male and the African female has to function, in order then that familyhood can function, in order then that community can function, and so on and so forth. It is part of African life to have order, to be organized. There is no nation that can sustain itself in a disordered, chaotic, steeped in confusion way. So we must then have order to our lives. And the core of that order comes from spiritual and cultural living. Indeed, the previous videos on the theme of living African history, with all the various messages, and please do check them out, there are several of them, they contain subject matter that is important to Africans organizing themselves into a state of nation. So the African ought not to shy away from organizing him and herself. Make it staple. Make it fabric of life, and to not be derailed by others that do not have the best interests of African souls at heart and benefit from Africans being in a disorganized state. So the organized collective self is always important. African nationhood needs to be. So living African history then embodies a major thrust of Africans organizing themselves to determine their own experience, to determine their own journey, to determine their own outcomes, void of being part of an ordered collective with purpose and mission of ascension. It's unnatural for the African to be in a disconnected, disorganized state. That's unnatural. And African souls are being set upon by others that mean the African ill in the state of disorder that has been imposed by the same others of ill. So a process of restoration now is key to regain, to re-establish, to rejuvenate, to re-enliven African life, to be ordered functionally again, ordered optimally again, and safeguarded so that disruptions and interruptions cannot be imposed again. Rebuild African nationhood. To create and establish and maintain the living history of nationhood. So Africans, be organized. Be as a part of a mission. Be a part of spiritual and cultural order again. And allow the African self to blossom, to flourish. Allow the African to rise victoriously, onward and upward into eternity. So with that, food for thought, and surely it is food for thought. Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, Kimunga Ukombozi, divine liberty, divine liberation, divine freedom, and all that that will bring for African people wherever we happen to be on the face of this earth.